Hi, I'm Sandra. Welcome to Create in Spain. Today I want to show you how to make a shaker card. But it's not just any old shaker card. It is a water shaker card. I love the swooshing noises that it makes when it's shaken. I think it's great fun. I think it looks really pretty, and I think anyone will be glad to receive a card like this. So I'm going to take you through the steps of how to actually make it, and it's not too difficult. It's a lot easier than it looks. We start off with a card base, and we have the card front which has the vase shape cut out from it. And we need to work out where we're going to be placing our card front. Now there's two different options that I did so far on this particular card. This one here has the same card put behind the vase, and this one doesn't. This one I've left plain. So you can decide which type you prefer and then use the instructions accordingly. If you are going to put the card behind the vase, then you take another piece of the same card and just make sure that when you've got your card front lined up where you want it, that your card is underneath. You then take a pencil and you mark the lines just on that corner, and where the base is. So you can do that, and I'll just grab a pencil. I'm not actually going to use the back on this card. I'm just going to use the front bit of it. So this is where you would mark, just there, and then you can mark that bit as well. Okay, now careful not to get any markings on your front card. If you get it on there in pencil, of course you can rub it off. But that is what you do. You would stick that down exactly where you left it and then continue with your card. But I don't want that there, and I don't want to risk getting any marks on here either. So I'm going to simply line this up. I think that's about central, and make my markings here and here. Okay. Now, what you need to do next is to draw some stems. For this I've chosen, it's like an olive green pen. Now just remember that flower stems will have to come out through the neck of the vase. You can't put them this way and that way. They've got to come from the neck of the vase. So you can just draw wiggly lines. There's nothing really precise in this. You can draw it as you wish and make some go up like that. And maybe we'll have a shorter one. There we go. So we have some stems. They look a bit weird as is, but not to worry. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to do is to make your actual shaker. And this is where the cheat comes in. What you can do is you can get some of these. Now, these are really cheap to buy over here in Spain. I don't know about elsewhere, but I suspect you can buy them on eBay if nothing else. But little Ziploc bags. Now, depending on the size you have, depends on the size of the cutout that you have in your design. As long as it's bigger than your cutout, you're fine. Now, I hear you thinking, well, it's got a couple of stripes across it. Yes, it does. However, if you have some alcohol and some cotton wool or a pad or whatever, you can easily remove these stripes. It will help if it's up the right way, simply by wiping like so, and the stripes are gone. Ta-da! Okay, so that's how we get our bag. Now, I filled mine with a few sequins already, various colours. Mine are not branded sequins, they're just any old sequins that I can find locally. Now, for filling it, you want some water. I've got mine in a convenient container. I've always got this on my desk anyway. If you have it, but it's not absolutely essential, some glycerin. Now, I've decanted mine into a small container anyhow. And again, if you have it and you want to use it, fine. If you don't, no problem. I've got some liquid watercolour here. If you don't have it, but you do want to colour your water, use some food colouring if you got it. Doesn't matter. As long as it's liquid, it's not granular, it's going to be fine. So you need to put some water in here. And this is why it's really nice and easy to have it in a bottle like so. And you don't want it too full. About 1/3 to halfway is as much as you need. Take some colouring if you're going to be using it. It's not that much in there. This is already diluted from a watercolour ink anyway, so it's going to be very subtle. And if you have it, a few drops of glycerin. I just did a little squirt. The glycerin helps things move around. It increases the viscosity of the liquid in there. Now, pinch at the top of the water and then take as much air out as you can, and make sure your zipper is well closed. Okay. Now, if you've not used these bags before, it's a good idea to test it out with a drop of water beforehand and just check that it is going to be fine. But that's perfectly all right. There we go. So that's the shaker element done. So we bring back our card base and we put the shaker element somewhere over our stems. We put this roughly where we want it, just to check that we've got the bag in the right place, and that's fine. And then you want to take some very strong tape. Now I've got some duct tape here because it's really strong. And just tape this bag in position at the top. Now for the corners, if you've got a suitable glue, you can try and glue down the corners. Just take that fuzzy bit off there. Hold it down where it needs to be, and a little dab of glue there and a little dab of glue just under there. That will help to hold it down, and you can press strings everywhere with that stuff. But what I like to do, just as extra insurance, is put a tiny bit of sticky tape diagonally over the corner, and that just ensures that nothing is going to be moving anywhere. And if you want to, you can put some more tape at the top as well. I wouldn't bother on the sides because it's not going to be able to move enough then. There we go. So that is our shaker element done. Wasn't that easy? Now, if you don't have those bags and you do have a fuse tool or something similar, like a pyrographic tool, the wood burning tools, you can make these sachets out of plastic. I did this one and it was okay, but I tried another one and it leaked. So I think these are by far easier to do. Now, what you would normally do with a shaker is you would normally have a piece like this and you would put it in and it would be stuck down. Now, as you can see, this is going to bulge like mad and it's not going to work. So this is why we don't have that for this particular design. What I have is some draft excluder because it is thicker. It's got adhesive on one side and not on the other, but because it is thicker, it is really suitable for this. And what I've done is I've cut it down into thinner strips. I've cut them to size. And so what we need to do is to take the back of our front panel, because you don't want to stick it on that because it would be in the wrong place, and you need to very carefully position it so it's slightly in from the side because you don't want it showing too much. And do this one. There we go. And roll it down into place. There we are. And I have another couple that I need to trim off a tiniest bit on that side to stick this down, and this will give the room for the bag to be in position. There we are. That's that one, and this one we trim down as well. Just about there, I think. I shall find bits of this foam stuff all over the floor where I trim it off and it just shoots into the distance. Not to mention the bits of the sticky backing. There we go. So that's that. Now if I were to leave that like that, I'd probably find that this would be a little fragile. And so if I line these two up, you can see that I've got a little bit of filling to do in here. This would be okay, but I can put some small pieces in if I want to. If I just make a square and then chop it across to make a couple of triangles. And that will help support. And then I can use a couple of these chunkier bits now. Before I stick that down, I'm just going to put this over the top and see if it's okay. Oops. If I put that there and that there, yeah, that's pretty well supported, but I do need that little bit just there, I think. Let's move that to one side and stick these pieces down. Just want to make sure that you've cleared the vase, because obviously you don't want any of your foam showing. Right. And that should fit over there quite nicely. Yeah, we're fine. So that's how to do the shaker bit. Now I need to glue this down now, because it's not double. Whoop, wrong thing. Ah, it's the water. I meant to grab that. Oops. Hopefully that will dry without any damage. If not, I shall stick some embellishments over the top of it. But it will probably be fine when it dries out. We shall see. Such things are meant to try us, and they generally do. Okay, let's start again on that. Fancy throwing water all over my card. I don't know. Terrible. Now this is silicone glue, and it copes with foam very nicely, and it's not a really wet glue either, which is important because you don't want to make your front wet. Or the back in this particular case, thinking about it, because it won't make the front wet, it will make the back wet. Because it does help if you don't throw water all over your card. Right. So I need to line that up. There we go. Ta-da! Just pretend it's not got any wet spots on it for the moment. I will end up having to stick a lot of things over the top, I think. Right, for my flowers on this one, I'm doing slightly different. With these, I stamped it and I did some clear heat embossing on the top. A bit of a fiddly process. With these, I haven't actually bothered to heat emboss them. So I've just got two different colours of flowers. And generally speaking, I put the larger ones on first. And I just want some more silicone glue this time. Fancy that. Right. So I'm going to put the larger ones at the back and then work forwards with some smaller ones. Once I can get the glue out. There we go. and I just stick them on in a somewhat random manner. I don't really pay too much attention of where I'm putting them, because if you had a vase of flowers, it would probably be somewhat random as well if it was just this sort of thing. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I want to put these on foam pieces. There we go. Whoops. So I've got a couple of very high foam pieces, and I've got some normal double-sided foam tape for some smaller, or shall I say shallower depth. Which is what I was originally going to put on. Come off tape. There we go. So once you've actually got your pieces cut out, this card doesn't actually take that long to put together. You can put that piece back, and I'm going to put dab of glue on this foam piece, because remember, this has only got sticky stuff on one side and I want it on two sides. And this one, there we go. Put that on there, and these really do stick out. I mean, they're very, very thick, so not the sort of thing you'd want to put on a card you're going to put through the post. I don't think I'll put one down there just for a change. There we go. And to finish that off, I think I want some embellishments. And by that I mean sticky gems. Now, I've just got a few to choose from, she says jokingly. Just a few. So, okay. I think I'll go for these. And I'm not going for realism, so it doesn't matter if they are colours that would not be seen on a flower normally. Ah, okay, I need to use my tweezers. Go on, in the centre, move. Right, okay, tweezers are going to be easier, I think. But I'm going to go for some greenish centres. Oops. And these yellow ones. I haven't decided what I'm going to go for the other ones. Okay, I've got some yellow ones here, so I'm going to go for some yellow centres in these. Sort of yellowy orange, if I can find the right ones. If I can get it off of the sticky backing. It's okay when you do these in sequence. When you do them out of sequence, you're trying to dig one out of the centre, is slightly more difficult. I think that's got some sticky stuff on the back. Yes, it must have. It stuck to my tweezers. There we go. That one. In fact, I'll choose some different colours as well. Shall I? No, actually I'll stick to the yellow, I think. If I can get it off. Oh, it's tough, that stuff. And make sure it's underneath the gem rather than around the outside of it. It's always a good idea. And the last one. goes just there. Voila. Okay, so that's the embellishments done. I'm hoping to goodness that that dries out without any damage, because I really don't have to stick anything else on there if I don't have to. And for this one, I'm choosing a straightforward bar for my sentiment, and I'm going to use a white Signo pen. Oh, what's my sentiment going to be? Best wishes, I think. There we are. That's going to be my sentiment. Let that dry for a few seconds because I don't want to smear it. So I think you'll agree that it is a relatively easy card to make, but it's very effective, very, very pretty. I really do like it. Now you can obviously vary the shape of the hole for the vase. You can vary the types of flowers, or you could make it a fish tank even. You could do a fish tank with little fish in it. Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, I might have to do that. And the way that you would do that, I'm just going to get some tape, some foam tape to go on the back of here. The way that you would do that is to cut your fish out of plastic sheeting. You know, the sort of stuff that, for example, this is made of, or something similar. You could colour it with alcohol markers, and as long as you don't put the glycerin in, you should actually be able to put that in water and it shouldn't come off. So you could colour your fish and it should stay coloured. So you could cut little goldfish or something put in. I think I might have to have a go at that. It sounds fun. Just the sort of thing that a child would really love, or someone who's a keen fisherman perhaps. And then you could draw things like reef plants and things like that in the background before you put the shaker on. And there we go. There we are, and the card is done, and swoosh. I think that's really cute. Now, one thing I would say is that if you're going to post these, I don't know how well they will stand up to the post. They should be fine, but I've not actually tried it. And I suggest, if you are going to put it in the post, that the top of the bag here, you put over some sticky plumbing tape or the duct tape, and seal that again, just to be on the safe side. But I don't see any reason why they shouldn't go through the post okay. I just haven't tried it. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hopefully I'm going to have nearly 1,000 subscribers soon, or an actual 1,000 subscribers soon. My subscribers are going up. I do this purely for the fun of showing people how to actually make these things. I don't make any money at it, and I'm not sponsored. So the only feedback really that I get is in the number of subscribers. So if you like it, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.